Good morning, I'm Alexander Huddleston with your morning news. Serena Williams' legacy and inspiration to female athletes everywhere will forever remain. Reporting in Pullman, I'm Alexander Huddleston, Murrow News 8. Once you're done scheduling your appointment to get a flu shot online, taking a flu shot is easy as 1, 2, 3. Multnomah County District Attorney Mike Schmidt is calling the shortage of public defenders an urgent threat to public safety. He says his office has dismissed hundreds of cases this year because there's not enough public defenders to represent people accused of committing crimes. BG can be found all around campus, but for most broadcast students, he can be found right here at the desk for Cable 8. The 3-1 Cal Golden Bears of Berkeley will be migrating to the Palouse to take on the redemption-hungry Cougs for Washington State's homecoming weekend. Saturday, the Cougars headed down to Phoenix, Arizona to square off against the Sun Devils of Arizona State. This was a must-win game for ASU as they are fighting for the Southern Division against the UCLA Bruins and Utah Utes. We're all very well aware that finding parking during football season is quite the challenge. However, it's these spots in particular that have caused many Cougs to express their concerns on social media. The Cougars are going back to Cali this weekend in hopes of a crucial bounce-back game to face off against the 3-5 Stanford Cardinal. Like WSU, Stanford has run into trouble this season when going up against Pac-12 opponents that are ranked. Even with a losing record, Stanford will not be a pushover for the Cougars as 3 of their last 4 games were decided by 2 points or less. WSU has a hefty winning streak against Stanford, winning their last 5 matchups, placing the last time the Cougars lost to Stanford in 2015. Washington State hopes to push this winning streak to 6 in a row versus Stanford next weekend. After suffering a tough loss in the NIT tournament last season, the men's team is looking at almost a whole new roster on their lineup. However, with that comes a whole new set of goals for this team. The baseball team is currently on a 7-game drought, sitting at an underwhelming 9-14. They recently were swept by Stanford, and before that became the only WSU sports team to be swept by UW this year. Their upcoming opponents include a series against Utah and Arizona. The annual pain due to the clashing of parking in college football has struck again. The Director for Transportation Services, Chris Boyan, explained that Thursday's match will cause parking issues for many, as per usual.
When there's a game on Saturday, it's fairly disruptive, but when there's a game during the week, it's even worse.
The parking layout will be the same as usual. However, it will need to be cleared out by 3 p.m. the day of the game in order to make room for fans. We're all very well aware that finding parking during football season is quite the challenge. However, it's these spots in particular that have caused many Cougs to express their concerns on social media. It is this sign informing students that the spots reserved for people with physical disabilities next to the arts building would be taken by media trucks that ushered the response from students.
And a lot of my classes kind of revolve around like Johnson Tower, Todd Hall, and everything like that. So those Cub parking spots right across from the Cub are a huge help because it limits the amount that I have to walk.
That is senior Alex Davis, who expressed his concern about his go-to spots not being available for him on a school day.
For me, I have 2 prosthetic legs, and with that, I deal with a lot of knee issues and other such things.
Some social media users also pointed out that the spots being taken can be seen as an ADA violation. However, in a follow-up email, Boyan said it is not a violation of ADA due to the availability of elevators in the Q garage. As it seems there is no change in the plan for this Thursday, Boyan made it clear he is always open to discussing these issues.
If you need help trying to figure out what your commute is going to look like that day, or you need to get to a certain class at a certain time, give us a call or come into our office or send us an email and we'll work with you.
Reporting in Pullman, I'm Alexander Huddleston, Murrow, News 8.
It's over.
On September 2nd, tennis star Serena Williams was knocked out of the U.S. Open in the 3rd round by Ajla Tomljanovic. After the match, the 4-time gold medalist gave a tearful speech hinting at retirement.
Thank you, everyone.
However, in a recent Good Morning America interview, Williams made it seem she is not ready to hang up her racket officially. Over the years, Williams' career has inspired many female athletes everywhere. Second-year WSU tennis player Maxine Murphy said Williams not only drew attention to women in athletics, but the world of tennis as well.
She was an inspiration because of how much she accomplished from such a young age to now. And I think just in the world of athletics, she brought a lot of publicity to tennis as well.
Coug tennis head coach and former pro player Raquel Atawo recalls facing Williams twice in her career. Atawo says that Williams' success may very well be a driving factor for many women and people of color to start sports.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of young athletes coming up now who may not have entered into the sport of tennis without her and without Venus. being in the spotlight. I could say, I'm potentially one of those people. My dad saw them coming up, and that's, a big reason why I started playing tennis. So I think they've inspired people of color. I mean, lots of people outside of, African American, Blacks, but definitely people of color have been inspired to play and pick up sports because of them.
While it is unclear if her reign on the court is over, Serena Williams' legacy and inspiration to female athletes everywhere will forever remain. Reporting in Pullman, I'm Alexander Huddleston, Murrow News 8.
Tax, I think it's 2%, and
Here at WSU, there are so many opportunities offered to provide a place where anyone can belong. Sophomore Emmett Walter Brisgornia, or as he prefers, BG, is a part of multiple clubs on campus, including
KUGR Radio, Daily Evergreen, intramural sports, competitive sports, University Recreation, Filipino American Student Association, Residential Hall Association, Cougs for Recovery, Country Swing Dance.
When he isn't in Pullman, BG is traveling the country or even the world to increase his knowledge in the world around him.
Back home, living in the woods, or working for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. I'll go weeks at a time just out in the wilderness, surveying birds, looking at vegetation. Over winter break, I'm going to be traveling the world, going to London, Paris, the Netherlands, to try to make impact, and then take those experiences and now channeling them into my community and helping others and gain more of a world perspective, because I'm lacking that.
BG finds trying to belong to be less of a challenge and more of a goal.
When I was in high school, my junior and my senior year, it was all COVID. I didn't really get to see my friends. I had opportunities to go do Running Start and get my AA degree, but I wanted to stay on my high school campus for clubs and activities and being involved with my community. And when I went to WSU, that was my main goal, was to, I'm not coming here just for an education, but make experiences, make relationships with people, and just try to make a difference in a community, be more than just myself.
BG can be found all around campus, but for most broadcast students, he can be found right here at the desk for Cable 8. BG has made many appearances across Cable 8, from making appearances on sports shows like Coug on the Clock, Coug Zone, or Fast Break, to acting in skits for Murrow Rejects. BG also helps run the social media for Wazoo Sports Network, creating content that brings in a surplus of views. This fall, he took a major role in the upcoming Cable 8 short film, Kobe. Senior Kyla Shelley, the director of the film, was surprised to see the side of BG that he typically does not show.
When I first met BG, he came off as really just funny and mature, but on another level, when you really got to know him, he's just very mature, and it's just completely different kind of personality in a way. He's very positive, which I really enjoy. When we start filming, he again lights up the room. He always says hi to everyone, make sure everyone's doing well. Yeah, he's just like an overall really nice guy, and I'm really happy that I've met him.
If it is not a major impact BG has on someone or something, he still creates a memorable interaction with everyone he crosses paths with. Sophomore Monty Tinney was BG's neighbor last year in the Stevenson North Tower. Tinney made it clear that you are always aware when BG is present.
He's always super friendly. It didn't matter what time it was. He would knock on our door and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" And you could hear him no matter where you are on the floor. Even if he was on the other side going into the kitchenette, you could always hear a "Go Cougs" or a "Namaste" or "Peace in the Middle East, brother." You always knew it was BG talking about it, and it was always so great.
What many may also not know is that BG is a licensed clown.
I thought he was joking when he first told me he was a clown. And then he showed me his certification. I was like, oh, wow, you're actually a clown.
Well, the clown story's funny. It's not as glitz and glamorous as everyone imagines it would be. I mean, it's just like ordaining yourself to be a minister. It's a quick little questionnaire, juggle a few balls, sign your name on the dotted line, and pay $5 for the card, and boingo, you know?
However, it is not to be misconstrued as a joke. For BG, it is part of who he is as a human.
Being a clown, for me, is just owning your identity and owning who you are and accepting that. Because sometimes you go through life and you try to fit norms and, you know, be a cookie cutter because you want to engage with others and fit in. But everyone's unique humor is unique. It's fitted for them. And if you own that and you own your own personal brand, then that you can get the most out of your life.
In the 25 minutes that I got to sit down with BG, we discussed a lot about his character and how he wants to be perceived by his peers. There was a common theme brought up multiple times in our conversation.
Humility, selflessness, and forgiveness.
As a friend, he's one of the most genuine people I've ever known. I knew him as this goofy guy, but once I really started hanging out with him and really started talking with him, I got to learn a lot about him and where he's from, but also his loyalty. He's one of the most loyal people you will ever meet. Even if he doesn't quite understand what's going on, he will try his hardest to understand and be the most understanding person he can be to support you no matter what.
Towards the end of the interview, we talked about how communication is an important factor in a functional society. Uniqueness is what keeps the world turning. To close up the conversation, the jack of all trades himself referenced the 1977 song, "We Just Disagree" by Dave Mason.
There ain't no good guy. There ain't no bad guy. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. It's okay. That's what I would want to say.
Reporting in Pullman, I'm Alexander Huddleston, Murrow, News 8.